will appear on our YouTube channel at some point in the coming weeks. It has to go through our marketing department, and it always varies. So how long it takes, I don't know for sure, but those sessions will all appear up there, and then you can refer back to it at a later date.
Okay.
So maybe I'll just ask everybody now to just turn off your microphone for now, as we're getting started and as I'm introducing Dr. Gupta. And then later on, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. But we'll just keep you muted just to keep the sound quality a little bit better as we get started. Okay, thank you. Okay, we had a great turnout last week, and it looks like we've got another great turnout. So thank you for joining us. We're very happy to welcome back Dr. Shilpi Gupta for the second Healthy Aging series, aligning, what exactly is the title? Align your biological clocks. And this one is the third one in this second series, so aligning your clock for weight loss. Dr. Gupta is a research scientist with a background in cancer biology and innate immunology. She specializes in science communication, writing, and education. She currently authors 2 newsletters, Science Explained, which analyzes the scientific foundations of various biotech companies, and Science Simplified, which explains the science behind health, human health, and diseases for a general audience. Additionally, she founded the Curious Minds community to empower individuals with science-backed tools and techniques that can be utilized to enhance both mental and physical well-being. And in the confirmation email that I sent out, I did send you the link to her book that we have put in our collection now that you can put a hold on. If you're interested in that, you can do that. And next week, we're going to welcome her back. Well, actually, we're welcoming her back for 2 weeks after this week for the last 2 parts of this series. So I will now hand you over to Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, Sequoia. So welcome back, everyone. It's raining outside, so let's enjoy this series at the comfort of our home. And so today we are actually talking about aligning your clock for weight loss. This is a broad topic. When I suggested this topic for the series, I was thinking about weight loss. But here I'm actually not talking just about weight loss. I will be talking about how to align your biological clocks, your digestive clocks, like how you think about food timing as you are thinking about what to eat. So this will be a broader topic, not just weight loss. Weight loss is the side effect of eating following your biological rhythm. And what a good side effect to have, right? So the whole series is focused on shifting the focus from what to when for optimal health. So this series started with decoding the biological clock, where we understood the science behind the biological clocks. And then in the last talk, we talked about the circadian rhythms for optimal sleep. We understood how the light is affecting our sleep-wake cycle and how the relationship with light is so important. And today we are understanding more about the digestive clocks, the peripheral clocks which we have in our digestive organs. Then we will take this series forward by understanding hydration rhythms. And here I will also talk about more of kidney in terms of because kidney is our filtration unit, and how this whole science behind this rhythm of hydration goes according to your kidney health. So lastly, we will finish this talk by understanding the role of circadian code to address gut issues. So just to recap what we learned and to put more emphasis on the biological clocks. So this figure will give you a little bit idea where the biological clocks are situated. This is your master clock in your brain, and then you have clocks in each and every organ of your body. The master clock is controlling the peripheral clocks, but now we know, it's a very recent discovery, that feeding time and exercise time can independently affect the rhythm of these peripheral clocks. So we have three environmental cues which are important, which are controlling the biological rhythms, and they are light, exercise, and your feeding time. And then the rhythms also get disturbed when we have infections. So pathogens can disturb our biological rhythm, or we have changes in the temperature. It can be internal, external, and it's related to the changes in the immune system. And these are the downstream effects, the pathways which are controlled by the rhythms. Uh, I will not go into detail of this. This is just to tell you how integrated this whole system is. So if you are correcting your one aspect of your biological clock, it will reflect into others. And that is the whole idea about a simple theme to correct your health. To It's the solution of everything, and that we don't need a lot of complexity in helping us to achieve better health. We need simple solutions, and this is the simple solution. So according to the three environmental cues which are affecting our biological rhythms, we have three important rhythms in our body. One is controlled by sleep, nutrition, and physical activity. So if we look at the ancestral rhythms, we used to sleep at a regular time because there was no light at the night and we could not do anything. So we were sleeping at right time. And then the physical activity, most of the time of the day when we were active, we were not sleeping. The time we were active, we were actually doing a lot of hunting or gathering. So there was a lot of physical activity. And the opportunity to eat was limited. We had to actually do a lot of physical labor to eat food. So the highlighted green part will tell you the opportunity to eat. So these were ancestral rhythms. Now the modern time brings in a lot of comfort, right? And it's good. We are advancing. Advancement is not bad. But it brings in, as soon as the light was discovered, electricity was discovered, it brought a lot of changes to our rhythm. Now we had the opportunity to work even during evening, even during night. So most of the people now do shift works, uh, are doing their calls or doing their work, taking their work back home, because light is everywhere. We have now entertainment is linked with light. So modern times, light is the now has become the crisis for our health. Now, if we see the sleep timing is reduced because we are waking up, we have a lot of things to do and we want to do these things. The physical activity reduced because now we can sit at home and order food from Uber Foods or any restaurant, and it will be delivered to us. We don't have to work for food. And that is okay. We don't want to go back and hunt or gather for food. But we have to understand that these changes bring in the downstream health related issues. The opportunity of food is now, whenever, like, when our eyes are open, our mouth is open. So we are eating every time. We are eating in between our heavy meals. So we are always snacking in between. And this is actually not good for our digestive health. So this, if we go through this slide, I'm going through the slide again to tell you how the rhythm of our daily life is well orchestrated in this 24-hour window. As soon as we are getting up, our melatonin drops. Melatonin is our sleep hormone. Our stress hormone comes into action, very low level. It's just for our alertness. We are highly alert during this phase, 10 a.m. to 11 or 12 noon. And this is the time when you have to do complex stuff, cognitive work. This is the time you should do because you will be highly alert during this time. And then your muscle performance peaks around the late noon. So around 3 or 4 p.m. is your muscle performance peaks. This is the time you should do your exercise. And then later, as the evening approaches, our melatonin starts to rise, our body cools down, our body starts winding down, and then we go into deep sleep around 1 or 2. Similarly, the body temperature rises again, and this cycle is continued day in, day out. So, this is the biological rhythm or the rhythm of our daily life. We will be talking more about how the digestion changes during the day and during the night. So, because we have a rhythm for our digestion as well. So, giving you a little bit brief of the what the biological rhythm is and how it has changed from our ancestral patterns. Today, we will be delving deep into the science of digestion rhythm. We will understand the conventional wisdom of weight loss and healthy eating. And then in the part two, I will be talking about the circadian lifestyle of eating, which is the time restricted eating. So, and then this I will finish it in 45 minutes, then we will have 15 minutes for Q&A. If you are regular, you know the pattern, how these talks go. So let's understand from the start. Uh, what is food? When you eat food, it is any kind of food, it is converted into energy. And these are the six major categories of food: carbohydrates, fats, minerals, protein, your vitamins, and then your water. So this six category of major food we have. And then when you eat this food, the food is broken down and it gives you energy. With the energy is for your body, for you to do work, for repair, for growth and everything. So everything which you are eating is being converted into energy. So there is this concept of this is your energy intake, and this is where your body is spending the energy. So this will be your basal metabolic rate. So basal metabolic rate, a, a, a minimum amount of energy is spent to keep the organs functioning. Your heart is functioning like 24/7, your muscles are working, organs. To keep these organs working, we are spending this energy. Even if you are not doing anything, just laying down, not using your brain as well, you will be spending this minimal amount of energy. And this is called the basal metabolic rate. Every person's basal metabolic rate is different. And then we have thermic effect of food. We need energy to digest the food as well. So to digest the food, we need energy, and this is the energy we need. And then we have exercise activity thermogenesis. So whatever exercise you are doing, you also need energy for that. So here, um, whatever exercise you're doing, your basal metabolic rate, the energy required to digest the food, the exercise related energy, and then non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is when you feel cold, right? You start shivering. And what is that shivering happening? It is the energy your body is spending to regulate your temperature. So whenever you are shivering, you know that your body is spending extra energy to keep you warm. And this is a very important homeostatic function, that we regulate the temperature inside depending on what is the temperature outside. So this is all the energy expenditure. Why I am talking about all this? Because the first approach to weight loss, everybody might have heard this, to reduce your calories. The calories in and calories out concept. It is to count your calories, what you're eating, and restrict it if you want to lose weight. According to this concept, if your energy input is equal to your energy output, then you will have a stable weight. If your energy input is more than the output, then you will gain weight. A very simplified concept, right? And when your energy input is less or your energy output is more, then you will lose weight. Very simple concept, easily understandable. And then people focus on this thing. Okay, so I think most of you might have heard about this concept. And then the second approach for weight loss is focus on healthy diet. Focus on what you are eating. And then it is according to the Canada's food guide recommendations right now. So this is also this focus on healthy food. This concept has changed over the decades. Sometimes is fats are good. Sometimes carbohydrates are not good. Fats are not good. We should focus on protein. Then high proteins are not good. So this concept is always changing. Right now, this is what the recommendations are, that your plate should look like this: plenty of fruits and vegetables, choose your grain foods, eat protein foods, and then drink water. So, this is the idea. But then, is this thing works? Like, how can you restrict your lifestyle to these recommendations forever? It becomes difficult because there are a lot of food choices which are high sugar, high fat, which are very palatable, which are very addictive. And we sometimes fall short on keeping this is recommendations, following these recommendations every day. So now what could we do and why? Okay, let's first figure out why this is calorie in, calorie out model will not work for everyone or not work for anyone, because the metabolism is not that simple. It's not about calorie in, calorie out. Lot of complexity goes into metabolism. You are actually not eating what you want. Your brain is forcing you to eat what you are eating. So there is a complex hormonal regulation. Weight loss, if you have to think about weight loss, it's not about willpower. It's about your chemistry, your neurochemistry, your neurobiology, and its hormones. So a lot of things are goes into managing weight loss. It's not very simple that eat less calories, exercise more, and you can lose weight. You will not, because it will then happen like a ping pong diet. You will lose weight and then you will gain back, and I will talk about why this happens. Then there is individual variability. For everyone, food behaves differently in the body. Like for you and me, if I'm just giving an example, if we both eat bread, which is rich in which is high carbs, a high carb diet, so your body shoots up the blood glucose level within 30 minutes, but for me it shoots up in 1 hour. We both are digesting the same kind of food differently. And why it is different? Our genetics are different, our microbiome is different, our the health at the present moment is different, whether we are on whether we have any kind of comorbidity, whether we have medication. So there are multiple factors to think. And calorie in, calorie out concept doesn't count the individual variability. Then metabolic adaptation. If we reduce the amount of calories we are taking, our body will slowly decrease the basal metabolic rate. We will see the decline in basal metabolic rate. Our metabolism will slow down because less amount of calories coming in feels like एक there is scarcity of food to your body. There is a stress response from your brain that food is less. We need to store everything down. We need to reduce the metabolism so we can absorb more food and we can convert it into fat. So there is a metabolic adaptation. Your body is very smart. Your brain is very intelligent, and it is taking note of every little fluctuation happening. Then there are behavioral and environmental factors which doesn't allow you to do this calorie in, calorie out work every time. Then hormonal regulation, another thing which I've mentioned here, I will talk about a little bit more. So now I was talking about this metabolic adaptation, this ping pong diet. Have you ever noticed that you have reduced calories and after maybe 2 or 3 months, you start seeing decrease in weight? And you are like happy now that your this dieting worked. But slowly you gain back weight once you increase the calories. and you are eating the same amount of calories which you were eating before your dieting, but now you are gaining weight. Your body is storing everything which is coming in excess as fat. So the ping, it doesn't work, this calorie in, calorie out concept. And then you also increase your hunger and appetite, because of this scarcity, because of the stress on the body, the next time you are eating, you are actually feeling more hungry. Your hunger response goes up. So it just screws up the hormone response. And also, the funny part is the weight which you are losing is not the weight which you want to lose. It's not the fat you are losing. You are actually losing your lean body mass, which is your skeletal muscles. And we need the skeletal muscles to be healthy. So if one thing you want to keep for your healthy aging is the muscles, you want to keep the muscles intact. They are helping you to sit down, to stand up, and this is the basic functions which we need to retain. So lean mass is very important. Don't look at the weight in kgs or in pounds, because that is not a right way of measuring. If you need to measure your weight, measure your abdominal waist. So waist circumference is the best way to identify whether you are losing weight or gaining weight. So don't lose your lean body mass. And then your body adapts to exercise. You need to exercise more to reduce weight. And if we think about the percentage of exercise and nutrition required, both of them playing a role in weight loss, then nutrition or the food will play a major role. Exercise is just 10 or 15% of the weight loss theory. So this is about all about the ping pong diet and the calorie in, calorie out concept. So now let's little bit understand what is happening when you are eating, hormonal regulation of eating. So we have something called hunger hormone and satiety hormone. So your brain, whenever whenever you feel hungry, your brain is actually sending out these hormones, the hunger hormone, which is acting in your stomach. And where is my pointer? Okay. So okay, so here it's acting in your stomach and your intestine, and telling them to secrete the juices which are required for digestion, because food is about to come. So whenever you start eating, or whenever you feel the hunger response at the time you are your regular meal times, these hunger hormones give the message to the digestive system it's time to receive food and prepare the downstream machinery. And so once you are full, your stomach, once it expands, stomach is a muscle, when it gets a lot of food it expands, and it has these nerve endings at the top which are directly connected to your brain. So then once it expands, it sends the message, and also through the hormone which is called satiety hormone, that it's time to stop eating. And then you will be like, okay, I'm full, I'm finished, I'm satisfied with the food, and then you will stop. So, hunger and satiety hormone is a very fine balance, but we tend to overeat, and we tend to eat in front of TV, or we don't pay attention to food. Then we are not listening to these mechanisms. We are not getting these signals. So we can actually dampen the voice of these signals by not following the circadian lifestyle. So I will talk about how we can do that. But this is all about the two hormones. And then insulin. Insulin is actually required whenever you're eating food. It is broken down into glucose and heat energy. The glucose is it's required by every cell to function. And insulin is the hormone which gives the message to every cell that take in the glucose inside. So insulin comes up in picture whenever you are eating food. So this is about insulin, and then peptide and CCK, they recognizes the protein and the fat which you are eating. So whatever food you are eating is actually controlled by these hormones. So these hormones are controlling the amount. Sometimes you feel like whenever you are like dieting, you are removing one macronutrient from your diet. So you are not eating fat at all. You will have these cravings of eating something fatty because this CCK hormone is telling you to eat something, because we need everything in balance. We cannot remove one macronutrient from our diet at all. Like, I don't know how these fat diets work. For some people it works, but in long run I think it's not good. Eat everything in moderation, but don't remove completely one macronutrient from your diet. So this is what I was telling about. We have central control of feeding behavior. Our brain is the master controller, which is controlling your food intake and giving the feedback back. So, your GI tract or your stomach is giving the feedback back to the brain that it's time to stop eating more and then stop the whole mechanism. So every time your brain and your gut is talking to each other, so how much food it is there. Is it enough nitrogen? Is it enough fat? Is it enough of proteins? So all the feedback mechanism we are getting, and this is a very interesting thing going on inside our food and the inside our digestion system and the brain. So how to engage these hunger and satiety hormones. So, you have heard about this phrase, eat with your senses, eat with your eyes, eat with your nose, right? So, mindful eating, it's coming back. It was our grandmothers used to tell us this thing. And then when the TV came, we forgot about this. So we eat in front of TV, we focus more on the program which is going in front of us, or we are doing something and we forget to look at our food. We forget to smell the food which we have. So when you do this, when you are engaging your senses with the food, you are actually triggering the brain's satiety and hunger response. So you need to engage whenever you're sitting down for food. You have to engage all your senses and eat slowly. And this is all we have also heard. Like our parents always used to say, eat slowly, chew your food, because when we are chewing, actually we are digesting it. The saliva has the digestive enzymes, and the first digestion happens when we are chewing our food. And this is also triggering our digestive system to prepare the juices and the acid is coming. So the digestion will be better if we are doing mindful eating. So, first and foremost, eat with your senses. And then let's go into the rhythm of the digestion. So, what is happening in the daytime and what is happening in the evening or the night? So, this is, as I was mentioning, our digestion starts in the saliva, in the mouth, because the saliva has this alpha amylase, which is digesting all your fats. Not all the, but semi digestion happens there. And then the mobility of the the esophagus, the pipe here, which is connecting to your stomach, the mobility of this is active during the day, and in evening the mobility decreases. And then your stomach, gastric acid secretion, as you can understand, we all know about this. Eat your breakfast like a king, right? And then decrease the food consumption which you are taking as the day progresses. And this is related to the digestion rhythms which we have. In the morning, we can absorb the glucose much easier, and then slowly, because the melatonin is coming into action, melatonin decreases insulin secretion. So, whatever glucose we are taking in the evening time is not actually being absorbed by the cells because insulin secretion decreases in the evening time. And now, after hearing this, let's recall what we eat in evening. Most of the parties are in evening, and most of the time we are finishing our dinner with something sweet, some ice cream, some chocolate, or some things. So whatever we are taking in the dinner time, after the dinner time, is actually not absorbed by the cells. It is converted into fat and it is going in the bloodstream. So maybe we have to change the concept of the parties. Do parties, but before 6 or 7, finish it by that, not by 10 or 11. So the digestion slows down. The it's like restaurants, right? If there is a closing time for your kitchen, and similarly for our in our body, we have a shutdown time. We need to repair because this system is actually working whenever you are eating anything. It can be a half glass of milk, which can activate the system because milk needs to be digested, needs to be absorbed, and every system will come into action to digest that half glass of milk. So anything which is calories, anything which is for digestion will activate the whole system. So we are very active for absorption, for digestion in the morning, afternoon, but then it slowly goes down as the melatonin is coming up. So it's very much related to the levels of melatonin which we have in our body. Similarly, we all the hormones, here I will not go into much detail, but all the hormones are regulated by the circadian rhythm. So this is just to give the importance of how the body has its own mechanism, and we should respect that when we are eating it. And first of all, we should know about it. If we understand, then most of the people will follow it. The problem is we don't understand. We these things are not talked much about, and because these are complex subjects, and most of the time you will not see people talking about this, and we only listen to that simple philosophy of calorie in, calorie out. But this is what is happening in your body. And I think you all will agree that if our insulin is going down in the evening, then we should not consume a lot of sugary substances in the evening time. It will end up in the blood circulation, and slowly we will develop insulin resistance, which is type 2 diabetes. So this is what happens when our circadian misalignment is. If we are eating late at night, if we have a social jet lag is a very modern term. We know about jet lag when we are changing the time zones, that's jet lag. And we have all experienced, if you have traveled across the continents, that we have a jet lag in sleep. We are not eating at right time, but then we have social jet lag. Social jet lag is when we eat very in a very good routine in 5 days, and during the weekends we don't follow that routine. So that's called the social jet lag. Our body feels like in two different time zones, and it can't adjust when we are changing our routine so randomly. So when all this there is circadian misalignment, it can lead to all these disorders which are related to your GI dysfunction. And when we have GI dysfunction, it affects our lifestyle so much because everyone enjoys eating food, and we don't want this dysbiosis or dysfunction and ulcers or gastric issues or something. So, simple solution, it's not too late to change your habits. And I will be telling about very simple solutions of changing your habits. So, first and foremost, let me give you a little bit of this, that our circadian rhythm or changes as we are aging. So, we talked about the sleep circadian rhythm in the last talk. Our digestion rhythm also changes with age, and these are normal changes. We have to just adapt with these new changes. So our meal timing changes. We have to shift our meal timings before to adjust to the sleep, because now the melatonin is being produced way before, and we feel sleepy before. So we need to shift the meal timings. Our appetite reduces. So when our appetite is reducing, we have to think about what food we are taking. If we are taking a very sweet or very fat food, that's nutrient dish, a nutrient rich food. Um, no, if that's calorie dense food. If we are taking a calorie dense food, we are not able to take all the nutrients. So we need to think about that because our appetite is decreased. Then our digestion processes slows down. And then the impact of comorbidities, if we are taking medication, the side effects of the medications are most of the time of the stomach related or digestive related, because that's the place where the medicine is being broken down and digested. So medications have a lot of effect on the gastrointestinal issues. We will talk a little bit more about this in the last talk. So circadian lifestyle of eating, let's understand what it is. So this was the question. This research is very new. In the last 10 years, we have seen a lot of progress in this area. And this particular study I'm talking about is from Salk Institute, US. And they asked that how much of the disease is due to poor diet and how much was due to random eating. This was the question. The study was done on mice first. So the mice were taken, uh, obese mice, lean mice, and two groups of lean mice were there. So one was fed with the obese diet, the fat diet, like uh, throughout the day, and one was given a time restricted diet. The similar thing happened with the lean mice with the weekly schedule. So in the work days, the mice was eating time restricted, and in the weekends, the mice were eating throughout the day. So and this is the obese mice who was given food every day, throughout the day, and then time restricted. So the results after 12 weeks were very drastic. So this mice who was given food every time, it become more morbidly obese. But the obese mice who was given food at a particular time, and here I should mention that both the mice were given the same calorie food. So there was no calorie restriction, only the time was restricted. And when you see this mice was actually fit mice, it becomes it was still obese. It lost it there was a reduction in weight, but the mice was actually showing a lot of parameters of good health. And similarly for this lean mice, you can see the results. The lean mice was also much more fitter after the time restricted eating, and it became obese when it was eating every time. The idea of this experiment was repeated multiple times because this was the concept which was breaking all the concepts which we had before. The concept of that if we are reducing the calories, only then we can become fit, only then we can be lean, or we can reduce weight. But here, this was the first study which told that only by restricting the time of eating, you are not changing your diet. This mice was actually eating a lot of fat-based diet, or what Western diet, or the highly processed or the high sugary diet. Only the restriction was in time, and the mice was become fitter, more fitter, and reduced a little bit of weight after just 12 weeks. So this was a very interesting experiment, but this was done in mice. So this was all the changes which was seen. The time restricted mice is reduced adiposity, which means reduction in fat weight, not the lean mass. And then there was glucose intolerance reduction. That means the insulin sensitivity is increasing, inflammation decreasing, your liver pathology is better, motor coordination goes up, and then leptin resistance decreases. Leptin resistance happens when you develop more obesity around the waist circumference. So a lot of good things are happening. But you don't want to treat the mice, right? You want to see the results in humans. But recently they have done experiments on humans as well, and very clear results that time restricted eating can actually decrease the metabolic uh, related symptoms or reduction in fat even in humans. And more studies are yet to come, and it's a very interesting area. So what is actually time restricted eating? Time restricted eating stands for intermittent fasting that involves limiting food intake to a specific window of time each day. And if we see we are sleeping for 9 hours, 9 to 10 hours, and we should not eat after waking up for 1 hour. So 9 plus 1, 10, 2 hours before bedtime, 11, 12. So it's not actually very difficult to restrict the time of food. So if we are fasting for between 12 to 16 hours, if you want to start, the 12 hour is a good fasting window. You can extend it up to 16 hours, but not more than that. So this is actually start with 12 hours. That's a good window and see what the results are. In this fasting period, water is allowed, but no calorie dense food, no calorie food, not even coffee or any beverage except water. So feeding duration will be reversed. You will eat all your calories during the 8 to 12 hours of your feeding duration. This is very simple concept, time restrict eating, and 1 hour after waking up and 2 hours before going to bed, we actually don't have to eat. So 3 hours and 9 hours or 8 hours of sleep and just one more hour. So it's an easy thing to do. So optimize your rhythm. That's what I was talking about. Start your day with a balanced breakfast within an hour or two of waking up. Respect your hunger and satiety cues that we can do by mindful eating. And stay hydrated throughout the day. As we are getting age, our hydration signals decreases. We will talk about this in detail in the coming talk. But then uh, drink, because most of the time we feel that hunger pangs, but that's because our body is actually dehydrated. So that time in between heavy meals, drink water. Then avoid social jet lag. This figure will tell you, this is the data from the trial which was done. This person was eating during the, see the routine of this few people who were in the study. In the week, they were eating following a schedule, and then during weekends they were eating very early breakfast and late dinner, so eating even after dinner. Similarly, in the weeks to come, the similar pattern. So our body feels like we are in different time zones. It follows a pattern because it has to start the processes timely. So if you are doing this, it's not actually good because your body is getting confused that it is being traveled to a different time zone, and that's not case. So restrict your eating time regularly. Uh, for weekdays, weekends, same. Avoid calorie dense food during evening. I've already mentioned why, the science behind it. And then now, if the question is, can I choose any 12 hours which I want? Like, can I restrict my like dinner time or the breakfast time? So any schedule is better than no schedule. So, however, there is an increased benefit of starting your day earlier. So eating breakfast, heavy breakfast rather than heavy dinner. So, what lessons we learn from the blue zones? Blue zones region are where there was this study done on people who were living beyond 100 years of age. So let's learn what eating patterns they were following. They were following this 80% rule, which is Hara Hachibu, which tells that eat your meal when you feel 80% full. Stop eating when your stomach is around 80%. So leave that 20% gap. And then plant slant, which is follow the Mediterranean diet, eat more fruits, vegetables, whole greens, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and seeds. So plant slant, another important thing which we can take from that study. And try to finish your last meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. I already mentioned why, the science behind this. And then this is the study from the humans, and we see that there was an increase in the sleep quality. The energy was better during the day. So we, not only weight loss, but you see the reflection of this time restricted diet in other areas. So your appetite control gets better. Everything is in function, the hormonal regulation. And then this all is the downstream effect of time restricted eating. So I will finish here. This is the last slide. And you already know how to connect with me. I will just repeat this. If you want to know what I'm doing further, like more talks you want to attend, you have any suggestion of any talks, or you want these talks in your community or your community centers, you can definitely write to me. This is my email ID, and the book details are already shared by Sequoia. Thanks for that. And it's also available in the library. So you can hold there if you don't want to buy the book. It's a good way of reading. So yeah, now questions. You can write the questions in the chat box, or you can raise. Sequoia can see your hands if you are raising your hands, and then we can answer.
I can open with one if that helps to get us going.
Yeah.
So when we lose weight, I'm assuming most of the time we're going to lose it from all parts of our body equally. We can't target unless we're doing like a specific exercise or something.
Yeah, very correct. Like if we are doing specific exercise, then actually when we are doing specific exercise, we are actually toning our muscles first. And then there is this, when we get muscles spend much energy. So the energy output of the muscles increases, which helps to decrease the fat. So it's a downstream effect of exercise. But you are right that we will lose fat from every area. It's not specific. If we are thinking about losing weight from our abdomen area, we need to specifically target that area to develop more muscles there. So fat will gradually shed. It's a very tricky thing. It's a lot of complexity of weight loss. The better is like there's slow effects, reduce intake of food, and then increase exercise, and then follow the time restricted diet.
And we also, I think, we gain weight in different places
Mhm.
or differently as we age. Is that correct?
Is very correct. There is a lot of think about the stress weight gain, because when we are stressed, our cortisol actually helps you to gain weight around the abdomen area. And specifically for women, when we are going through menopause, the perimenopause, the menopause, or the postmenopause, when estrogen goes down, our body, uh, our fat distribution in the body changes. So it's all about hormones. It's not about what you're eating. It's mostly about controlling your hormones. And so that's why stress reduction is so important for losing weight as well. And maintaining your hormones is important for losing weight. It's not just about food. That is the message which I think I want to share more about losing weight loss. It's a hormonal control.
So hormonal control and also when you eat, not just what you eat.
Yes. Yes. So hormonal control is in balance when you are eating at the right time according to your digestive clocks. When you are eating in the window where your digestive clocks are very active, then you are actually also balancing your hormones. So the side effect is the weight loss. The target is not the weight loss. So we are starting this time restricted journey to balance our hormones, to be in sync with our biological clock. The side effect will be weight loss. So this is what the whole message is. We don't want to lose weight uh, And that is why we are doing time-restricted eating. We are doing time-restricted eating to balance the hormones, and then you will see the effect in other parts of your health.
Great. Does anyone, if there aren't any other questions, we'll see Dr. Gupta back again next week for hydration rhythms.
Yes, hydration rhythms.
Okay. Thanks very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Dr. Gupta.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Dr. Gupta. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.